Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
Well. Good morning. Top of the morning out here in sunny California, fiery California, windy California, all of that. But we're glad to be here. You're listening to the Express Yourself Hour. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you live always with nothing but straight talk. That's how we do it around here, nothing but straight talk. My co-hosts are, I have two, Mr. Keith Swanson. You guys know I do. Always trying to find an adjective in which to describe him by. He's Black, he's intelligent, and he is just wonderful. The word wonderful is what really pops to mind every time I try to find new words. Wonderful tend to entail everything about Mr. Keith. And my other co-host is Shawana Bordenay. She's just extraordinary author, lecturer. She helps people keep their goals on track. Number one, define their goals first, then does the vision goal, vision board. It's so many different ways they call it, but what it is to help you to see where you're going and figure out how you're going to get there. Good morning, you two.
Good morning, Dr. Rosie.
Great morning to you, Dr. Rosie.
Great. How you faring out there, Valley Girl? I know you're out there amongst the fire. You doing okay?
I'm doing all right. I mean, we have a lot of helicopters flying all night long over the house, so you never know what's going to happen. You just keep it and pray and, hope for the best and hope the fires just stop. I mean, because there were so many homes lost. Did you see that? Oh, it's going up in flames. Oh, my God.
I'll say to keep you guys in prayer. It's a big loss. And it's just coming on the heel of such a, when things happen close to the holidays, it's always, whether it's death, loss of anything, it kind of, put you in a different mood for the holidays. So it's not no time is good time, but this certainly is not, it makes it a little bit more difficult. And then it makes you value your life above the houses and all the stuff you have. That's so for some people. Some people, without what they have, they consider having no life because their self-worth is tied into what they have. So we pray that those people understand that they're important. Their self-worth is more than the house.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
today?
Very, very true. You can't get caught up in the house.
Exactly. Well, today I think we have a pretty good topic. 5 most critical questions you need answers to before you get hitched or before you start shacking up. I said shacking up because a lot of people don't want to get hitched. And some reason, maybe because they don't want to answer the hard question. I don't have to. I'm not your wife. I'm not your husband, so I don't have to answer that. So there's certain questions people feel like they don't have to answer and they won't answer. But the sad thing is that too many people won't ask the question that they need to have answers to, Keith, until after they're married. Now, I don't know what's up with that unless they say if he answers this way, I'm going to have to stand my ground and say we're not going any further. So if I don't answer the question, if I don't like what he or she is doing, I can go along to get along, because once we get married, I can be the real me. I can let it all hang out. I can let my hair down because we've gone to the altar. Or I can let my hair down because he has moved in with me, or I have moved in with him. Now we have a unique living arrangement. So now I can start putting a law down about what I like, what I'm going to take, and what I don't like. So that's why we have so many divorces, because people do not ask that question they need to ask before they get to the altar. I guess they think if I ask the question, maybe they don't want to wait for the answer, Keith. I don't know what it is, because, this man is fine. He got this, he got that. Everybody love him. He's popular. So maybe I don't want to end this relationship. I don't want to know all this stuff right now. Because if I know it, I may have to be accountable to myself, and I may have to make a decision. Say we're not going down that aisle. So if I don't discuss it now, I do it when we get married. Then we'll start talking about what I like and what I don't like. We'll do that when we get married. Wow.
I want to be married, so I'm gonna put my blinders on.
Yes, yeah. I'm not gonna rock the boat until he or she say I do. Then it's okay for me to say what I need to say, to be me. Let the real me come out. That's what I've had people say. Well, once you get married, you let the real you come out, and it comes out so far that some people feel so comfortable. They say, well, I get married, I just may walk through the house and fart, and don't say excuse me, but you wasn't farting before you got married, okay?
Oh, I always say you never know the real woman till you put a ring on her finger. I have found that out twice.
You found that out twice.
I found that out twice.
And it's too hard. That's why people need to just be you. If that person can't accept you as being who you are now, and now you're trying to make them change. A person is not like a dress. You can take your thread, your needle, and you can sew him up on this side and let him out over here, put a piece here. You can't do that with a human being, okay? As Flip Wilson said, what you see
what you get,
is
what you get. What you see is what you get.
And most people...
And some people don't see it. They know they see it. But they totally ignore it. What does Maya Angelou say?
When they show you,
who they believe,
Believe it.
So
because they're not playing it.
So you said they see it. They just don't want to admit to this.
They see it. They don't want to admit to the truth.
Well,
they don't want to admit to the truth.
First thing they said, when women, first thing they said was, "You're not my man. You're not my husband. And I don't have to act this way."
Wow.
They say I don't have to do that because you're not my husband.
And it's easier to walk out of a relationship when you're shacking than it is when you're married. That's
why you don't get married.
Yeah, so I just get up.
Is that why you don't get married?
That's why you don't get married.
I just pack my stuff when I get ready. There's no obligation. You don't owe me and I don't owe you.
So you're not married. Just pick up your tent and walk away.
That's
what the problem is, though.
Walk away.
You think that because you get married, you owe something, and you really don't owe anybody anything just because you got married.
Oh, no, not according to the law, sweetie.
Well, according to the law, they take you for what it's worth. And that's what takes the beauty out of marriage. Is what am I going to get from this relationship instead of love? They don't really enter into the relationship with the love part.
That's why they call it.
The problem comes in.
That's why they call it a marriage contract.
Yeah,
horrible.
I understand why they have it, but we still going by we have an egalitarian society with patriarchal rules, so men still have to live up to the patriarchy. It is what it is.
Wow, it's really crazy, man. People just really got to do some things better. But we're going to talk about 5 most critical questions that you need to ask. You need to, number one, Marriage breaks up most often for this reason. It's either has to do with sex, too much, not enough, or want to have it with more than one person. Okay?
Is that the number one reason? Because I know
number one.
That's number
Sex.
one. Okay.
Number two, and it's sad because it is number one, but then people, they put it on something else. I think they hate to say it's about sex, but when you get through counseling, it all boils down, you know. Okay, the next one is really about money.
Okay.
It's about money, and they kind of go together. It's they say no finance, no romance, so they kind of go together.
Let me ask you a question, Dr. Rosie, because nowadays women are not getting married because of money. There's no money, so I guess you couldn't get divorced because of money because you wouldn't have got married in the first place.
Well, that's kind of true and not, because a lot of women, what I'm finding, Keith, more women nowadays are taking care of men than I've ever seen in my life. I guess they just...
They have to.
Yeah, they're doing that.
They have to.
You want a man?
No, they don't have to.
That's horrible.
You want a man? You want a man?
But who said? You know, I think that's the problem. Men think they're a gift from God, and that everyone will have to have.
Did you hear that, Dr.
I want some of these women to call up here and that, because here's what I'm going to throw out here: a man is. He's a luxury and not a necessity.
That's true.
Right off of that, Keith.
That's true.
A man is a luxury.
That's true.
Not a necessity. And when women get that in their brain, they won't just settle for anything.
You know what, Dr. Rosie? I'm going to have to push back a little bit on that one.
All right, push back, Keith. Push back. Let me hear you.
There's very few women that can actually be out there by themselves. And I would say, whether women like to admit it or not, women don't do very well without male energy.
Woo! Well, black women across this country must not be doing well at all. Y'all better holler if you give me. Now, you know what Keith's saying? Women don't do well without men. And a lot of black women don't have men. So, Keith, what are you saying?
No,
I don't know about that, Keith. I think they're not happy without a man.
They don't have.
They're not happy without a man, but they do well without a man because they got a lot of women out there, single women that are very powerful women, and they're single.
Okay.
And they're doing well. They're just not happy. Maybe you're using the wrong terminology. They want a man to lay next to.
Do I have a little bit of? Can I have a little bit of leeway, Dr. Rose?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Shawana, you know how you know whether those successful women have men or not? Show up between midnight and 5 in the morning in park and see who comes out that door, in or out and out that door.
And what is
that's a new one. Who's coming in out? A married man?
It's a man. I don't know whether he's married or not.
So you're saying that he's just staying at her house between 12 and 5 and that's it?
There's two kind of guys, right? There's two kind of guys, especially the successful woman's life, right? There's a guy between 7 and 12. That's the guy that she shows. And that's the guy between 12 and 5, the guy she don't want to show.
Okay.
And that's just the guy she just with. That's the one she enjoys the most.
We'll get into this a little later.
I'm just saying.
We'll get into this a little later.
But if that's happened, then the girl must want that. She must be okay with that.
Sometimes she wants it. Sometimes it's a survival tactic.
Ooh, this gonna get hot up in here.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. Número tres.
But I don't agree with that. First of all.
Okay,
because I know I have a lot of single women that I know. Okay. That
how long are they celibate?
Oh, well, that's something different. You didn't say all that. I don't know about that. I don't know. They have. But they'll have a guy. They don't have one guy here and one guy there. Usually the women are pretty faithful. I don't know too many of them that are sleeping around with
I
different
didn't
guys.
say. I didn't say they're sleeping
Sure.
around.
Well, you said one in the afternoon, one
No,
in
no,
the
no, 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 no.
evening.
That says there's two kinds. I didn't say she has two. I said
Oh,
there are
two
two
kind of guys. Oh, okay. Okay,
kinds.
okay. I got it.
And even
Okay.
if they are doing that, one coming from 12 to 6 in the morning, think about it, Shawana. They're not going to tell you. You know how women lie. They ain't going to ever tell you the truth about stuff.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. I
We'll
guess
go on to
that's true, Dr. Rosie.
we'll go on.
They're not going to tell me all the juicy stuff.
I was going to say that. To go on to the next. We can come back to that one later.
But it's the truth. They tell you that the man bought them this, and when they bought it for themselves, they lie about the size, the salary, sex, and I don't know why women feel like they have to be boasting about stuff that's not existent when you paid for it yourself.
And the more successful they are, the more that you will see that, and that's right. Amongst the 92 men, we know that to be true.
Wow. Well, let's get back. We said some of the things that you really need to discuss. Number one on the list is your sexual appetite. You need to talk about that.
True.
Sexual methodology. You can't just wait because you get married. And, men don't know but one scripture in the Bible. Anything once you marry is undefiled in the bed. They know that one, but they can't tell you any other scripture, okay? So you need to discuss. That's very important. You can't wait till you get married to a person and you start talking about your likes and dislikes. And I say that because a lot of women, we talk about men that are impotent. We have a lot of women who are impotent. They don't like sex. Some of them have been molested. Many things have happened to them. They don't want sex, but they realize that if I'm going to be married, I need to have sex. So they'll pretend that they're enjoying it. Honeymoon night, they close their legs. And the man thinking something wrong with him. We have a caller. Let's go ahead and take the caller.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Greetings, Keith, Dr. Rosie, and Shawana. It's Ingrid calling from Toronto.
Ingrid. How you doing?
Hey, Ingrid.
Oh, doing great. So, a couple of things that people can ponder that might save them some heartache. A lot of times what we were taught about relationship is we should look for the person that's compatible. And that's really great. But the other part of it is we really should look at the areas where we're not compatible or the person may have a flaw, and we should ask ourselves, is this actually something that we could live with for the rest of our lives?
Okay. I think that's a good idea.
The other thing is that, as you were saying, sometimes people don't really show their true colors. And so very early on in a relationship, dating, you really want to get around the person's extended family. And then all the things that you consider a flaw in that extended family, you want to see if some of those patterns of behavior manifest in the person that you're dating. Because oftentimes that person may conceal things, but you can see those behaviors in the family members.
I think that's great. Ingrid, I think a person should be around a person's family. If they have friends, what kind of friend do they have? Are these friends that you want to come to your house to be a part of you all's, relationship? You need to see that person's spending pattern. Where do you shop? How do you spend your money? Do you spend to impress? Or do you have a fine car and you have to hide it 2 weeks out of the month to keep them from picking it up? You want to know the appetite.
How they treat you from the very beginning, too. How they treat you from the very beginning tells a lot, too.
I don't think that may not be such a good indicator, because people can treat you real good until you get married. So that's why you got to look at all those other outside things.
Wow.
If everybody
I know, but you know what I believe, Dr. Rosie? I believe that in the beginning, they show you. They have little things that we need to pay attention to in the very beginning before we even waste too much time. Because in the very beginning, they show us. We just ignore it, and we try to ignore it. So I think that they do show it in the beginning. Even though we see sweetness, we see the little bit of things that we don't like as well. And there's a lot of things that we don't like that we just accept because we think, oh, he's such a sweet guy, though, overall. And most of the time, they aren't that sweet guy that we think they are. But we ignore that. We ignore the fact that they're really not that sweet.
I give an example.
We can make it work. We can make it work.
Let me give you this example, okay? Choosing a man is like choosing a car.
Mm-hmm.
If that car could be shiny, the wheels look good and everything. But if that motor is no good, what good is that car?
I like that. I like that.
You can show it off to your friends.
That's right. The motor is those things that make your heart smile, that make your liver quiver. The motor is that thing that comfort you. You know, we call it communication, to cover you. And if that's not in place, that motor is dead. So don't worry about what that body looks like, okay?
We got another caller.
Let's take this call.
I like that.
310?
Caller, go ahead.
Oh, caller, go ahead.
I'm really just listening.
Okay. Put yourself on mute then.
So we look at
we're just talking about. We're talking about what we need to look for in a man, in a woman. What signs we need to look for before we get married.
Well, basically, the question is really is the question you need answers to before you get hitched. Don't be asking the question later. Get an answer to the question now. What's your sexual appetite? You need to talk about that. You got a person who said, I hate sex, but, I want to get married. See, women think marriage is a prerequisite of saying that someone have validated you. They don't want what goes along with the marriage. I don't want the sex. I don't want that. But I want to be married because I want to be able to go out and have you on my arm and have my girlfriend to go, ooh, look at him.
They want the title. So
yes.
So even if they get divorced, they say, "Are you married?" No, but I was married, honey.
They say it with a smile, don't they?
Okay.
I want somebody. I was at least picked once for the prom. Yeah.
So those are questions they need to ask. One serious question women should always ask: do you have alimony to pay? Listen up, lady. This is important. And if so, are you paying it? Are you current? That's important. You don't want to get married to someone and find out they have this big alimony to pay. And now it takes most of his money, and now you're taking care of him. And if you want to have children by him, you need to know, if you're not taking care of your children, will you take care of the children that you and I have together?
Ingrid, we need you to mute because we think we're getting feedback from you.
So those are some of the issues. You want to know sexual appetite. You need to ask about the money, that spending habit. Do you have any debts? How are you going to get married to somebody and you don't understand their financial situation? Why would you shack with someone that you don't understand their financial situation? Because you might be the one paying all the rent, all the utility bills. Because then he'll start talking about, I'm being garnished here. I need to pay child support. What you going to do now? You're up there in the house with him. You all have signed on a lease agreement together. And women sometimes don't like to ask men about money, but women, you better start digging. Because women feel like if I ask you about money, you think I'm a gold digger. You think all I want is your money. No, I want you to have money for you.
You know what, Dr. Rosie? What I found that if women know that you have money or they know that you have steady employment, they have no problem about asking for money. The only time they don't ask men for money is when they probably know that he probably doesn't have, but they still want the man anyway.
Okay, so that's what you call buying you a man, huh?
Buying you a man,
well, you buy everything else you want. You buy your wigs, you buy your nails, you buy everything else. So
it's not for a woman to buy a man. It's not a good look. So she's not going to tell you.
Keith, who care about looks these days?
You would be surprised, well, especially millennials. It's all about the looks with them.
Okay. So they don't care about the money.
No, well, they care more about the looks than the money. They care
Okay.
about money, but they care more about the looks. They want them. They want that man. They want that man. And but
That's
a lot of people aren't honest about it.
that's interesting. It's how we're looking at what the millennials are looking for and what the older woman's looking for. Some of the older women are just looking for good lovers.
Yeah, at a certain stage, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Proper companionship.
Proper companionship, yes.
Yes.
'Cause-
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Tim
Proper
says
companionship.
when a woman tells me that I'm not her husband,
mhm.
I would hold her at her word until we marry.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the guy you hook up with. He would be your downfall. That's what Tim says.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? I think what it is most people don't want to be honest with themselves. They want that particular man or woman so badly that they're willing to ignore the flaws. They see them, they just ignore them. So
But Keith, why do they recognize them once they get into the relationship? Then they start bringing up all the flaws.
All
uh,
the flaws, all the time. Nag, nag, nag. No.
Right, and they were there all the time.
uh-huh.
See, that's what's so unfair.
Uh-huh.
That's what's so unfair. Now,
'Cause
when he wasn't romantic when you were dating him,
Mhm.
now you're married, you pissed off. He
Yeah.
don't, he's not romantic. He doesn't kiss me. He doesn't talk. Well, did he talk before you all got married? He was quiet. He came over. He watched TV.
Mhm.
All you guys did, and
Yeah,
when we got into bed together, some men once past the bed, they don't have anything else to say. I don't know what's wrong with them, but I understand it's a lot of men like that.
if he's only seeing you,
Yeah,
with your,
I hear that.
if he's only seeing you for 6 hours a week, a lot of things you can tolerate or ignore. But what happens is when you have to be with him 24/7.
That's the key, Keith.
That's the key.
Yeah, that's different.
That's a big difference.
It is a big difference. I got to say that.
So huge
Big
difference.
difference.
Yeah, because in personality and temperament, all that stuff comes in because, you see in the good side, you see in the fun side, because he's only coming over there with you for fun.
Right.
But the thing is now, what happens when the daily grind has to be there, especially if you're going to be with him for, not a week, month, but years.
Right. You say he's not lovable. He doesn't show intimacy. He loves having sex, but there's no intimacy. Was there intimacy before you got married or before you moved in with him?
And it probably was, but the thing is, if you can be, he's coming over, like say, especially for a man, okay. If he's dating you and he wants to see you, he wants to see you for those 2, 3, 4 hours that he's with you, and then he's going to go back to his life.
So he's
Okay.
not sitting around trying to talk to you, right?
He's not, because you're not with him when he comes home from work, or he's got stress, or he has a bad day, or he doesn't feel like being bothered that particular day. All that stuff. Because if he doesn't feel like being bothered with you, he just doesn't come over. You don't even see that.
Right. Let's take
I think a
another
good
call.
question, Dr. Rosie. Dr. Rosie, I think a good question is, will you love me if I get fat?
Now, what you think? That's not a good question because he's going to lie.
That is a good. Okay,
It's not.
well, you know, some men will say, "I'll love you. You can eat as much as you want," and he'll say it like he really means it. But then there's some men that want you to stay small.
Yeah.
So that's kind of important
Yeah.
for
If you
a
love
woman
me,
to know if a man wants a woman to exercise all the time,
Yeah.
keep her body together. I mean, some
Okay.
men give you some rules. You can gain 10 pounds.
if you love me, you won't get fat, especially if I have a lot of money.
And I told you beforehand I don't like fat women. So now you go get fat, you complaining that the man doesn't love you.
But we's married now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we married. For fat or skinny, for short or tall,
Yeah.
for hair or bald. Oh, I think we have another caller, 818. Give us your name, where you calling from.
818? 818? Okay.
I guess a lot of people just want to listen today.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go back.
Okay, if
Okay.
you're not muting your line, we're going to have to drop you because we're getting a lot of feedback. So the
I
engineers
think she
don't like.
wanted to say something.
Okay, if you have to speak up
Go ahead.
because we're asking callers to mute if you're not talking. We're getting a lot of feedback.
And we're trying to cut the feedback off of this show.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing you want to ask and get an answer to, you want to know if they have a lot of debt. We talked about that. Because that's not bad, because what you can do is say, well, okay, hon, here's what we're going to do. Let's set a budget and a plan, because before we get married, these debts have to be paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. Now you all are setting some goals, paying those bills off. Because bills can certainly put a weight on your relationship. Trust me. So get the bills paid off. Now the main thing, and that falls in your category, Shawana, you want to know their long range goals. That's critical, man. Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? In the next 5 years, what are your goals? What are your dreams? It has to be more than my goal is to make you feel good every night. Okay? You got to go past that goal.
Mm-hmm.
My goal can't be just to show you that I'm the best love maker in the world. That can't be your goal. So you need to find out long term, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Folks, that's really important, because if a person's short-sighted and just doesn't have any goals, then you need to rethink that. You really do. Because as Les Brown said, if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else. And I believe that. Tim sending notes. He said you're 110% right, Dr. Rosie. Oh, God, Tim is a mess. No, you got to have goals. And I wonder how many people really ask their mate, what are your long-term goals? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I think it's because a lot of people don't have long-term goals themselves, so they wouldn't know to ask because they've never thought about it. I tell men that all the time. You can't pick the right woman if you don't have a mission and purpose, for your life. Then you can't. How can you vet a woman if you don't know what you want to do or where you're going to go? She can't fit into a life that you don't have.
Now that's deep. You need to put that in a book, Keith. Let me give the number out. You guys, you can call 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. Or you can email us here at innerlightradio@yahoo.com. That's INNER. innerlightradio@yahoo.com. I think we had started with Ingrid on her line, so I think she had to hang up, so she might be listening. But we always appreciate Toronto giving us a call. But you guys, you got to ask these questions before you get married. You got to ask, and some people are afraid to ask. Well, you can't ask a man if he have a criminal record. Well, number one, you better look it up.
You better ask me about a criminal record before you get in the car with him.
Especially if you're talking about getting married. What's wrong? I mean, Keith, would you be offended if a woman asks you, do you have a criminal record?
No, not really.
I can see you right now. See, there you go. You think every black man got a criminal record. Don't be so sensitive, men. Women need to know. And you need to know about these women, because a lot of them have criminal records too.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to observe people. It
doesn't mean they're not a good person. It doesn't mean that you don't need to be with them. But there's some things that you need answers to.
Yeah, you don't have to ask them on the first date, but if you're going to get serious about them, you should know a lot about them. That's the main thing.
Hi, you reached Shawana board name.
Wow.
At the tone,
I guess Shawana must got dropped.
Name, your telephone number, and a property address. I will return your call as soon as possible. And once again, I want to say thank you for calling.
Okay, that means she's going to call
The mailbox
back.
is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
Okay,
She'll call
Shawana.
back. She'll
Yeah,
call
call
back in.
back. See, the other thing too that you need to ask about is a person's health, and
Mm-hmm.
people forget to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you marry someone, they have congestive heart failure, they're
Mm-hmm.
diabetic, they're having some impotency
Mm-hmm.
challenge because diabetes does impact
Mm-hmm.
the blood flow.
Mm-hmm.
And good erection is good blood flow to the penis.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't happen with men sometimes. Sometimes they're on high blood pressure medicine that's impacting their sexual stamina. So you
Mm-hmm.
need, but this may
Yeah.
not be, this might be just the man
That,
who don't want to have sex. That might
well,
be the right man for you. You
that's
need
true.
to ask those questions.
Yeah,
And
that's true. You just you go
might be
use
the
the
perfect
bathroom.
match.
You go to use the bathroom. You take your smartphone, open up the medicine cabinet, and take a picture.
Uh-huh.
and
Uh,
go back home
uh,
and look up the medicine on the internet.
Keith, that's cold, Keith.
I,
God dog it.
you know what, okay, Dr. Rosie.
That's a good one.
As a younger man,
Yes.
before I had sex with a new woman, I'd go to the bathroom and I'd look for pills. Look for birth control
Wow.
pills or whatever other kind of pills before I had sex with her.
Wow. Now, see, I never thought you got one on me. I never thought about going that far. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Open up the medicine. You're in the bathroom. Open up the medicine
You're
cabinet.
right. It
Whatever.
does.
If
It
they're on,
does tell you something.
if they're on something, it's going to be there.
That's right. Okay, we have a caller.
21
213.
213. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, I was just my name's Patrice. I just wanted to call and say it's a great topic, and also too, women have low libido. Also, they have vaginal dryness and all that kind of stuff too. Whenever they have, reproductive health issues, and they have high blood pressure and that, so they have same issues. But it's a really, really great topic. And I wanted to say, you're talking about marriage and asking questions. Are you gonna be having any classes for your estate planning? Since, people got to have estate planning and stuff like that. People have to talk about that too.
That goes back
Dr.
to the
Rosie?
money. Yes, exactly. Long range plan and money. How you see money. You got to know how people see money, because you may get married to someone who want to spend every dime they get in their hand. Every time they get a quarter, they spend it. So you need to find out about that. Do you have life insurance? Now, that's the first thing I want to know. How much? Because I don't plan on burying you. I'm just saying. But we need to get this stuff in order, because here you're married to someone you never asked about insurance. Man died after you've been with them for 2 weeks, and the mother looking at you. Well, how you gonna bury him?
Mm-hmm.
Now that may seem cold to ask these questions, but you need to know if he doesn't, then you need to say, well, baby, here's what we need to do. Let's call an agent over here. You have a home. Do you have a trust?
Mm-hmm.
What you're gonna do if we are married? Will my house be mine and yours be yours? All these things, Carla, you're absolutely right. All these things you need to talk about. But sometimes one wants your house to be there, but they want to leave their house to their children. Well, see, you don't have any children, so I'm going to leave my house to my children and your house to be mine. These are things that people need to talk about before you get married. Talk about, we going to move to your house? Or we going to stay in my house? Or are we going to buy another house? I think that's Shawana's phone that we're getting the feedback in.
Yeah, I think we're getting wind noise from Shawana.
Oh, that's probably what it is. She's out there with the wind and the fires. Okay. So, Carla, yes, and I will have a living trust seminar coming up. In fact, what's really is taking place, we're having a master reposition yourself for generational wealth. It's going to be a hand-on. It's $150. That includes lunch, but I'm telling you, your whole life will be changed and rearranged from this seminar, because we're going to cover every aspect, everything you need to know about investment. We're going to talk about trust and give you a budget that you will work out before you leave that seminar, because that's why most people cannot really achieve financially, because they don't know how to do an effective budget. one that works for the whole family. How to include the family within your budget. You want a car, your husband saving money because he wants to take a cruise. You guys need to be on the same page about what those goals are and what you want that money for. And Keith, I can't tell you how important it is that we're going to delve into that insurance issue, because too many people have an insurance policy they pay 40 years on. They have to drop when they get 65 because the rate goes up so high and their income is less, and they have paid 50 years on their policy. So you need to know what type of policy you need. You need to have information about insurance before you allow an agent to come in and talk to you, because they're going to sell you many times on the best plan that they get the highest commission. Everybody's not honest out there.
No.
It's about how much commission. I make more commission if I sell you this one. So you need to empower yourself with information about insurance. Because other people, Keith, have used insurance for wealth, to get wealthy. They've had policies when their children got ready to go to college. They had money to go to college, or they took that money and bought them a home. We got to know how to work that. So you're going to get so much at that seminar. Like I said, it's hand-on. You're going to learn about money, learn what to do with it, learn how to budget, learn how to get rid of debt, learn the difference between good debt and bad debt. So that seminar is $150. Should be $1,000.
Yeah, a lot of
we've been to things like this, and we paid thousands of dollars for, and had to buy all their tapes and books.
Yeah, and a lot of, I remember back in the day, a lot of wealthy people were getting large insurance policies to bypass the estate taxes. They put a lot of money into insurance. So when they died, their child would get $3, $4, $5 million in insurance. And that the government couldn't come in and tax it at the same rate.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yes, caller, I will be doing another seminar. Well, in fact, I will be talking about wills and trust and power of attorney on the 23rd, me and Mr. L.C. Green and other experts. So
this is Ingrid. She says we should ask if the person has participated in any alternative sexual lifestyle. If so, which ones?
Ingrid, I'm going to get you, Ingrid. I'm going to get you, Ingrid.
But nowadays, that's true. You have you have the alphabet people out there now, so you got to ask.
Right, because some people think they're getting in a relationship with a person who is, same sex, but they going both ways. So you do need to ask that question. You think it's just you. And I think the most hurting thing for a man or woman, for a woman to find out that her man is with another man, and for a woman to find out that her husband, vice versa. I mean, that's one of the most destroying relationship matters ever. So people just need to be honest. Hey, I go both ways. Because some people may say, wow, this is just the kind of person I want.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd be surprised what people are looking for. I remember once my sister and I, we was out at this party, and this man walked up to us and he said, "Are you ladies married?" So we were trying to be smart. We were not married. We said, yes. He said, that's just what I'm looking for, a married woman. It was so
Yeah,
I thought that was so funny. You might be just what the person is looking for. So be honest. Be honest.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys out there looking for married women.
Well, I tell you what, as my dad would always say, be yourself, because it's all going to come out in the wash one day.
Yes, it will. Yes.
And you
Dr. Rosie?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I say that I think it's really important when you are looking to marry someone is that you ask him about his family. I think his family is important, that you know what type of family background he came from, what type of rearing he had, because that has a lot to do with his character. I think that's really important.
Yeah, if possible, you should be around that person's family as much as possible, because them telling you about it and you seeing it in action are two different things.
Yolanda,
Well,
I think that's
I
absolutely.
understand that.
Mm.
I understand that, but people put on, you sometimes you don't have to open up your mouth when you're lying, and people put on a facade when they're around certain people. So that's why you need to ask questions and keep it real. How much time are you really going to be around their families? Families don't get together like they used to when we were coming up as kids. So really, how much time are you only going to spend? So you need to ask specific questions about his family, about his rearing, how were you brought up? Were you brought up in the church? Are you a spiritual individual? Are you seeking God? Do you put God first before you do everything? I mean, do you love God and love people? These are questions that you need to ask because it's so important, and a lot of times when people, they come in your life, and they kind of look at what you have achieved, and they think they've hit bullseye, know.
Right.
I've had it happen to me a couple of times, and they thought they hit bullseye. So you have to have the discernment to know, hey, look, this, that, and the third. So I think it's really important that you find out the content of a person's character, the way they were reared and the way they were brought up, not as an adult, because the childhood plays a lot to do with how we are as adults today.
Yeah,
and
so I've had more than a few relationships, and every woman I've been with, she always talks about how she was reared, how she's brought up. And a child sees things. Well, number one, a child sees things a different way. Number two, you really cannot articulate everything about that person, about who they are, because everybody knows when you're around your parents, you automatically become that child again, and then you really see and how they interact and how the parent is when you actually meet them.
Dr. Thompson, hold tight. We're coming to you. And the other thing you need to ask about. You need to find out if that person is a tither. You don't want to get married to somebody and tell me, you ain't giving all your money to the church. What? You put that in? No, you better talk about that, okay? I've seen, they get some big fallout about the money. Look, this bill is due, and you put what in church?
Yeah.
And you got a woman saying, well, he going to double it.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you really want a person that's really, really spiritual or really religious, then religion is a practice. It's not something place that you go. If that person is really has a religious or spiritual practice, you're gonna see it every day. It's not gonna be one of those things they can put on and take off.
Right. Okay, let's go.
True.
I agree with that.
Thanks, Yolanda. Haven't heard from you in a long time. Okay, Dr. Thompson, we're coming to you.
Yes, I've been listening about the last half hour. These are some really good things that you should ask people, and these are things we weren't taught. I mean, I got married so young that we didn't know to ask, like credit and other things. Did y'all talk about HIV status and if they've got what's that other one that you get from the liver now, hepatitis?
Okay.
I don't know. You can ask people about that, and like you say, the sexual preferences, and like you say, some people might want people that they can have threesomes. From what I'm reading and seeing, a lot of people do that now. Like Blair Rabbit.
Didn't we just have a politician who resigned because of something like that?
Yeah.
Sure
yeah,
did.
That's what I heard. So she just went on resign, but I'm sure she's not the only one doing it. Maxine trying to get me put out the church again. She coming up here talking dirty on my show.
No, and then, like you say, the money management and long-term goals. Do they have good credit? I mean, I thought my daughter was crazy when she checked her husband's credit and how much he had in the bank. But she was 27. There's a whole world of difference. The older you are. And then my sister had a friend who married this man when she was in her 50s, and she had a house, and they were in Ohio. he had he had borrowed all types of money on the house, and she had to really struggle to save her house after they broke up, but she didn't know, and she was just so bitter. So we just can't be like we were in our 20s and going in, ain't nobody got nothing, so it's all right. But now, as you older, you have to say, hey, I don't need to get married at this age. Certain ages you have to say, you know what, I don't need to be all romantic at this age, because it don't mean that half the time the men are impotent anyway. And maybe,
yeah, well, that's true. Well, you should know that before you get married. Before you get married.
A lot of people don't know. Because you know what? This young lady told me that she was dating this guy and they had gone out of town, Dr. Thompson, and she decided to be nosy and went in his little bag. You know, men carry little bags and stuff too. And she saw all this little apparatus and stuff he had to pump him up and all this kind of stuff. And she was so disappointed. But he should have told her. I mean, women don't care if you have to use pump to pump. They don't.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Or the Viagra, let them know if you're on Viagra. Don't be acting like you ain't on Viagra.
But just be honest. Just be honest, Keith. If they have to use the apparatus they use to put around the penis to get the blood flow to make him get a good erection, I'm sure she appreciate that erection as much as she will some of these flip-flops.
Well, did she marry him?
Huh?
Did she marry him?
No, she didn't marry him.
I have to agree with that, Dr. Rose.
So she does.
I have to agree with that.
Okay, tell me what you agree with. You'd rather have a pump-up than flip-flop, right?
Yes, the flip-flop. Yeah. You don't want that.
Right.
Yeah,
So Keith, women don't
stop playing. Come correct.
They're fine with it if they're already in it, and that's the only way it can get done. But if they have their druthers, no, they wouldn't.
That's not true. See, when people stop focusing on an erection, if man having an erection is your whole life, then a lot of women are going to be in trouble. Because a lot of men are not able to get a good erection. High blood pressure, diabetes, stress. A black man doing good when he can get an erection anytime, okay? With all the stuff that they have to go through. Shoot.
That's true.
Well,
So you better have some other means. You better know something else. Just
like anything else.
That's where the women have to pay attention to that when men don't get erections, because you let yourself go too.
Come on now. In this day and age, you can't tell me that you're gonna buy a car without test driving it. Come on.
Yes.
You just go. You can
test drive one and it was driving good because they just put something up under the hood to make it work. And when you get it home, it's no good. We know how they prop up cars. You ever drove a car off the lot? It drove good before you got home. It stopped. Same thing with men.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least you know
that. Lemon law attorney. Lemon law attorney. Make a full trade.
You got some so we should have some lemon laws for these men.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I guess that's what the law is all about.
It's called annulment. You can get it annulled on those bases. You can get your marriage annulled on that basis.
I think it's more to a marriage than how well somebody can perform in the bed. I mean, you should know how to make do. I mean, what's your hands for? People just got to be creative. What
is reason number one and number two?
That's where those questions come in, Dr. Rosie.
Yeah, number one is just sexual.
Do you like sex?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like
sex? You have to ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some people who don't like kissing. I've had a customer client who was mad because the husband said, I don't like kissing. Mm-hmm. And the woman want to be kissed. You'd be surprised what people don't like and do like. So that's why you have to
find that out ahead of time.
You should
find that out.
You should know that if you go to kiss her and she's scrunching up her face, that's probably a pretty good sign.
Sound like you don't have some experience.
If you like sex, or they like sex and you don't do it.
Yeah, they're well counseled. They're out there like that. You're not there for that.
And you got some people there. I mean, they think the bed is where you're supposed to stay. So you have to say, no, I got to go to work and I have goals. I have things to do. You're not going to be in the bed all the time. So you got to talk about sex and money. You got to talk about, are you in debt? You got to talk about your health. If you have health condition, it doesn't mean that person won't marry you. That's what people need to stop being phony. It doesn't mean that you're out of the game because you come with the baggage. There are a lot of women who are called cleanup women. They like to take nothing and make something. They think that's their calling in life. I know women like that. They go down to the bottom and find them a man. So
Well, those are the ones that don't have any
That's where that
problem.
song came in at.
They go looking, they go rooting around in the junkyard. So
yeah. So they can fix you.
Well, everybody's junk is, somebody's treasure.
But then know that you're getting junk, and don't be mad because the junk is junk when it was junk when you got it. Let's put it like that.
When you got it,
You got me out the dog pound. Now what you want me to be?
And also tell how many children you have. My oldest brother, his third wife, he's been married 4 times. His third wife she only showed about 2 or 3. She had about 10, 11 kids. She each one each. And he married that fool, too.
It go to show you if you can get a person's heart and they can see all this. So that's why be real, be authentic, because what you're trying to hide might be just what that man is looking for. Because whatever you are, it's going to come out. And you guys, let me tell you about the book that you can purchase. My sister and I wrote together. It's called What to Do Before You Get Hitched. Absolutely incredible book. You need to find out if that person filed their tax.
Yeah.
Do you owe IRS? IRS ain't nothing to play with, you guys. It's no joke. So don't let me get mad and I found out that you owe IRS $100,000. We getting ready to buy a house now. Your name can't go on it. Come on, folks. There's a lot of stuff you really do need to ask before the wedding bell goes off.
Yeah,
and before you start shacking up.
Yeah, you know what? I was talking to a few guys over the weekend, and a lot of what comes up is that men need to figure out if that woman's actually a wife before they get married to her, because some women are girlfriends, some women are wives. You got to, if you want a wife, you can't pick a girlfriend.
Okay, now you need to expound on that. What's a wife in the eyes of a man?
Well, a wife in the eyes of a man is basically a woman that can actually take care of your house and take care of your children, and is also cooperative. Is also cooperative, and
take care of the house, right?
Well, there has to be the basics. If you want a wife, that is the role of a wife. That comes along with the description of a wife. Okay.
That's old time, Keith. That's old time.
No, it is. It basically you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, and then you marry her and think you got to train her to be a wife, and she's not. She's not that. She's a partner. If you want you want to marry a partner that's different. Then you have a different expectation.
Okay, he want her to cook. He want her to clean, have his food on the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically run his household. That's what she's there for. That is a wife.
Does he want her to stay home, or does he want her to work?
Right. That's the whole thing. You should want her to stay home because you want a tradition. You want a traditional lifestyle. She should live at your means.
Keith, I'll pay you I'll pay you $500,000 if you find me 5 of those men, okay, who want a woman to stay home. I'll pay you. Don't find me a man.
There's a lot of men out there, Dr. Rosie.
There's a lot of men.
They want their woman to stay home. There are. I have to agree with that. I mean, I see a lot of kept women.
There's a lot of them.
What's their address?
You know what? They live in my neighborhood.
Okay, I'm gonna come visit you.
There's a lot of them. There are a lot of
one of my other neighbors is the only women that work.
They want a kept woman, huh? Okay.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm not saying that she has to do it, but she should at least know how if that's your requirement.
Okay.
And a lot of guys, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a woman that doesn't do it. Okay, I'm not saying that, but a lot of guys want a wife, and they're getting a partner. Okay.
Right.
A woman that's a woman that you marry, that's your partner, is not going to do all that. You're going to have to pick up that slack. You're going to have to help her run her house. Okay, run the house. Okay, you're going to have to. If she can't cook, you're going to have to cook. If she can't clean, you're going to have to clean, because she's there for a different reason. Because she's part. She's a part.
They don't want. When you are put in a position as a partner, I think something goes out of that relationship. It's almost like having somebody you work with.
Okay, that's in fact we were talking about the octanes or the class level, right? And how you evaluate each woman for her characteristics. And at a certain level, you want a partner because your goals are to make more money, run a business, and she's there to facilitate that. She's not there to run your household. She's there to facilitate something else. And a woman that's going to.
Sometimes you can make more money if she is staying home.
Sometimes you can, but thing is, those are different kinds of guys. Okay. Those are different kind of guys. I know that a lot of guys that just want a woman at home to actually be there for him, nurture him, and take care of his household. There's a lot of guys out there like that.
And if you're not that kind of woman, please don't get hooked up with a man like that. When you have to be out there like Shawana, who want to be on stage, want to be all over the place, and want to go when she wants to. And I mean, some people really not cut out to be a wife, and they might well face it. I mean,
no, that's
don't
exactly
worry
right.
about society's script. You know when you are wife material and you're not.
Yeah, just because you give that person a title doesn't mean that's that person's role. Okay. And in fact, I was talking to a woman that was raised that way, right? And she tells me the story. She told me the story, right? That she met her husband in the Army, right? And for 6 months he would come over. She cooked for him. She might even wash his clothes. They sit on the couch. They talk. They watch TV. And then he would get up and he would go out and date somebody else, right? And this went on for 6 months. And so I asked her, okay, why did you do that? And she said I was actually interviewing to be his wife, and I wanted him to show him what he would get if he married me.
Oh, okay.
So basically, she showed that she could clean the house. She would cook for him. She'd wash his clothes. She'd nurture him. She'd do all the stuff that a wife would do. She said the only thing she didn't do was sex. She said there was no sex, but she said I was gonna show him that my resume as a wife.
Wow. So I bet he fell in love with that more than he did to sex.
If you want me to tell the story, I'll tell you the story real quickly. Okay. Okay, so he said after 6 months, he had to go, they have to go out for like 6 months. So he went away for like 6 months on assignment, right? So for like 6 weeks, he was gone. So she figured it was over. So she went and she found herself another boyfriend, another guy she was testing out, right? And so he comes back and she says, well, it's over because I have another boyfriend. He said, no, you don't.
He said, no, you don't.
He said, no, you don't. She said, I found another man. He said, no, you didn't. And he married her like a month later.
Oh, so, now that's a cute story.
And they've been together. I think she said they've been together 25 years.
See, women, what's the moral to that lesson? And my stepmother used to always say, keep your dress down. Don't jump in the bed too soon.
Yeah.
Let him stroke your mind before you're behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all need to repeat that. Stroke the mind before the behind.
Yeah.
That's a good story. You guys, you know what that clock on the wall is saying? That's all. Yeah. Dr. Thompson, we thank you for hanging out with us. You're going to have to do that more often. Shawana, this has been an awesome show. You guys make sure you tell your friends to tune in 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. This show will be rebroadcast. But always remember, you all, ladies and men out there, there's some question that you need answers to. You need to know about sexual appetite. You need to know about the money. You need to know about the health. You need to know about their debt. And you need to know about their family. Because sometimes, not always, sometimes, what they say, the fruit don't fall too far from the tree.
For the tree, that's true.
Fall from the tree. Nope, it sure doesn't.
And don't settle for that 12 to 5 guy. Get you a 7 to 12 guy.
No, why can't they have both?
Ooh.
Oh, I hope my pastor didn't hear that. I tell you guys, it's so hard for me to stay in church nowadays because, well, they say
what you
talk
about,
too
just
much.
Your mind.
Well, God still loves me, because it's all about the truth. The truth shall set you free. You guys go and have a great day, and you'll want to be safe out there with the fires. If it get too hot, come on down in the valley. Come on down to Watts with me, okay?
The show's going to repeat at 6 p.m.
Rosie.
Show's going to repeat at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So this is a hot one. So you might want to download this one and keep it on record.
Exactly. Play it back. Play it back. When you meet that next gal, you meet that next guy, play it and let them hear it. Keith, that's what you should do. Play it for your next person.
Yeah. Are you a partner or are you a wife?
Oh, this would be good. You guys have a great day.
All right, thank you. Thanks,